enough. I'm not gonna work.
Sorry to hear that too. I kind of feel the same way you do, man. I'm like doing all these lessons and I just don't feel like I'm getting ahead at all. Which I'm fine with not getting ahead if I'm doing things that satisfy me, like playing music and stuff. But any questions, Sean?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Okay. So your goals are to get better at improvising, right?
Yeah.
That's one of them. So it's funny. It's like I feel like a shrink where I gotta like assess the different areas of like, oh, we need to improve that so that the improvisation can get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on the same thing with Reika.
Oh.
You classical folk. Well, we got an hour, so let's make the best of it.
Yeah.
Need an A? Got an A? Do I continue playing an A once you have that? Does that help you?
You can if you want. Not all people need it. I don't need it. Some do.
Got the Burger meetup. I don't know. Were you planning on coming on that next week? Sorry about the last time.
Is that next Tuesday?
It's going to be the Tuesday coming up. Next week. Today's
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah. I'll be there.
So the very next Tuesday that's coming up. Yeah, okay, so I'll see you
Yeah.
there.
6 days from now or something.
Right, yeah.
I was there yesterday, and I checked my clock, and I'm like, wait a
Why did
minute.
you go there yesterday?
I left it on my phone screen so I wouldn't miss it.
You went yesterday? Oh,
No,
man.
but as soon as I parked, got out, I checked my phone, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right.
Damn.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh crap, is this next week too?
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's me.
It's
last
been-
Tuesday, or last Wednesday, I showed up to a meeting that was today.
It's funny you would say that. I went to my dentist appointment that was supposed to be today, or at least I thought it did, but they're like, no, it's next week, and you confirmed it. I'm like,
Huh.
I did.
When? I don't remember.
I did confirmed it yesterday. I went there this morning. They're like, oh, that's for next week. I'm like, but I'm like super sleep deprived, and I'm like making stupid mistakes like that too.
Catches up.
Yeah. Well, that being said, how to groove is a good one, and then probably just the ability to navigate different keys. And the way I've been selling it to you is just try to make movable shapes, and that way the same things work in whatever key. That's at least how a guitar player thinks. And I can only give you the wisdom that I've accrued over the years. And so for me, this same finger motion works in every single key. So I'm still doing the same fingerings,
Yeah.
just in different keys, and that way certain areas of the scale position are always going to be true. But you can then adapt this to however it works for violin. Let's see. But modal training, that's the other half of it. To improvise is one thing. To improvise well is, I think, to really understand modes.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest to you, though, is to get good at just being able to play in any key, even if it's just rubbish. Okay? So I'm sure we kind of covered this for a little bit last time, but the key of G, right?
Yeah.
Play a G scale for me, please.
Two octaves?
Yep. So I was was improvising chords. I just was going all around different chords in the key of G, and therefore you were soloing. Although it was a very predictable ascending line and descending line. So the whole point of running scales is to show you where all these viable notes are. Get to know that fingering really well, and then all you got to do is jump around to different notes in there. That's it. That's all you got to do. So now try playing the same thing, and within those 2 octaves, just jump around to anything and have no expectations. Just make sure that you're playing the note in tune, right? That's your job as a violinist.
Yeah.
But don't have any expectations on whether or not it's a chord tone, passing tone. Don't even really care what mode it is. Just grab
I don't know what
notes.
those are. What is
Yeah.
chord tone and passing tone?
Okay, so play a G major scale really slow. So chord tone. Next note, passing tone. Chord tone. Passing tone. Chord tone. Passing tone. Passing tone. Chord tone.
That's only because it's G major mode 1 with G.
Yeah, it's a G arpeggio.
Yeah.
And that's why they make people study arpeggios, because it's like, whether this musician knows how important arpeggios are.
So in
take
the
it.
key of G, G is always a chord tone. In mode 1, the passing tones are 3.
The passing tones are going
Or,
to
I
be 2,
mean-
4, 6, 7.
Yeah, sorry, not the passing tone. The chord tones are also 3, 5.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah, then if it's in the second mode, it would
2, 4, and 6. And that's
be.
what we
Wait,
were.
but not 1.
No, 1 is no
Oh,
longer.
sure. Well, that throws that out the window.
1 is. It's not a chord tone anymore, because right now I'm not playing 1 at all.
Oh, you're in the key of G, but it is not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the key signature of G,
Okay.
but I'm not playing a G chord no longer. So the note G is now a passing tone.
So
It's not out of key though. It's not a chromatic note. We're not quite there yet.
okay, so the chord tone is the notes of.
The chord you're playing
Chord.
over. Yeah, it's an arpeggio
Oh, okay.
basically. So if you just arpeggiated a G arpeggio, that would have been all
Oh,
chord
so that
tones.
means that was A minor.
That would be A minor
C.
arpeggio.
Yeah,
But
1,
don't
2,
think
5.
about it as just an A minor arpeggio. Think about it as you're still in the key of G,
Yeah.
and the A minor arpeggio is the chord tones. So what I'm asking you to do is just to wander around your scale randomly. So kind of like.
Okay.
And I'm just gibberishing it, but I'm definitely not just going. And I'm not doing Suzuki book where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm not trying to do cascades. That's all drills to get your fingers working. Now we're trying to get our ears working with our hands, and to if you're such a page player, which it's funny, I'm the opposite. I'm like, right.
Yeah.
So now this is training you in how to like just exist without paper, and as long as you're playing in key, the worst you're gonna sound is okay, because those passing tones are still in key. They don't sound bad,
Okay.
right? So when you went to, can you play the G scale again?
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds okay. That sounds great. That sounds okay. That sounds great. That sounds okay. That sounds okay. And that sounds great.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to complicate things, but if I played a G major 7th chord,
It would be.
sounds great. Sounds okay. Sounds okay. Sounds great.
That one's okay.
Not,
Wait. No, it's chord.
that's a good one. Yeah, sorry. That sounds okay. Great. Okay. Great.
That's because it's in the.
Right. Now if we did
Okay.
the same thing, keep going. Great.
Are you sure?
No.
Oh.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
Great. Great. Okay. Great. Okay. Great. So the chord that you're playing now over is a major 9, and I don't have it really spread out, but
So wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 5. Right?
7.
7. Okay,
Yeah.
5, 7.
so basically all the notes
Yeah.
except 6.
Yeah.
That's why the jazz guys like these extensions, because then any of the notes they play in scale are going to be good. But my point is, even the passing tones, they're okay. Now the secret is, just even if you don't know correctly, just ride your instincts. If you think it's a chord tone, don't overthink it. Just go, oh, it's a chord tone.
Okay.
Because by the time you recognize it, the chord's already changing to another chord. Chord progressions typically don't stay static. They're moving, right? So all you want to do is develop an instinct, whether it's correct or not. This is the whole point. It doesn't need to be correct. You can go, oh, I think it's a passing tone. So if it is a passing tone, you should probably find another note before the chord changes.
So don't end a chord change on a passing tone.
Unless
Usually.
that's the desired effect.
Oh, okay.
For starters, it's a good instinct to do that for training purposes.
Yeah.
Later on, you can break all the rules.
Yeah.
But for now, if you're trying to cultivate an instinct, I call it the cat reflex.
Yeah.
Cat never falls on its back. So this is the cat reflex. If you can develop a good sense of recognizing that you're in any given moment playing a passing tone or a chord tone, that's going to save you in so much bullshit. Because then you don't need to think so hard. You can just go, okay, chord tone, chord tone. So I'm going to kind of cherry pick a little bit because I already know this chord progression, but I'm just going to kind of think out loud. Oh, okay, money. Not so good anymore. Good. Good.
Okay.
I'm fine. Not so good anymore. Now I'm good. I'm 2-note solo.
Oh, okay.
So again, I can go. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, but if I ended there, it would kind of leave a little bit of like lameness, but it wouldn't be. Nobody's gonna really notice. But that's the difference between a good solo and a bad one. Is there's some tension there. Now I give you release. Tension, not a lot. Release. Perfectly consonant. Tension, release. So even if I'm wandering, so even if I don't land on chord tones during my chord,
Yeah.
I just continue to kind of play rhythmically.
Okay.
See, like so, let's say I'm wandering.
What if you use a neither tone?
Those are non.
Yeah.
That's out of key.
Out of key. Do you use out of key?
Yeah.
Why?
Sometimes being too pleasant is not the right effect.
How do you know which one to use?
For now, you gotta learn the rules before you
Yeah.
break them.
Well,
How do you know
like,
when?
Is there a rule like you
No,
can use
not
the
really.
flat third in a key because you can, or something like that?
There are some general rules,
Oh,
but
okay.
that we can get
Say
lost
that.
in a freaking vortex there. The main thing is, I always have this saying, is like, it's the difference between a nerd and a jock, right? A nerd can tell you, the cosine of sine and the newtons and the force
Yeah.
that can throw a ball,
The jock
but can't
just
throw the
throws
ball to save their life, right? And the jock who doesn't know how to throw a ball, but that you can shoot a basket like no problem. And I think more people are. And it shouldn't be about what other people want, but as far as a musician, you're a performer. It's about the person's, the audience's consumption of your playing. They don't care if you know the theory behind it or not. They just want to know. They just want to hear cool shit.
Yeah.
But when you get into the nitty gritty of it, it's like, oh, I can sound cool if I know this shit, but only if you can render it. So what I'm suggesting is just get a good cat reflex
Okay.
of knowing where a chord tone is or a passing tone. So let's go back to the key of G, and I'm just going to wander around in chords. I'm going to put a drum beat on too, just so that we have some sort of rhythmic context. Okay, so just wander around.
Is the goal to play only chord?
No, it doesn't matter, just recognizing.
Oh, okay.
So play your note for like 4 seconds. Play a new note. Chord tone or passing tone?
Chord.
Okay, I'm gonna switch the chord. Chord tone or passing tone?
Chord.
Okay, I'm gonna switch the chord. Here it goes. Yeah, so find something.
Passing. Passing. Chord. Passing. Chord.
See?
Passing.
So cap it.
Passing.
So
Chord. Yeah. Passing.
So find a way to cap it. So when I keep saying the word cap it, that means sit on your what we're gonna call a shitty note now, and it's not. It's actually totally like fine,
Yeah.
but you want to cap it. So run it and then cap it at a certain point rhythmically, and you can cap it at any point rhythmically. You can cap it on the downbeat, backbeat, upbeat, E, the doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as it's rhythmically there. Yeah. So this is a good exercise, I think, for you.
Yeah.
Because yeah, so go for it. It's whatever. Oops.
Chord.
Yeah, we can hang out there forever.
Passing.
So cap it. So now, yeah, when you, there you go.
Both were chord.
That's a passing
That was
tone.
passing. That was
Yeah, see, did you hear? And you
I
weren't
heard it.
sure, you know, so that's why I said you don't need to be correct. Your guess was it was a passing tone.
Yeah.
And then you played another note and it sounded better. Well, yeah, then it was a passing tone.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you are on a chord tone and you mistakenly call it a passing tone, you'll go to a shittier note and then you come right back to your good note.
Oh, okay.
You see? And the cool thing about this is that if there's a chord, there's 3 notes in the, you know, if we're in the key of G, I'm playing 3 of those notes at any given point in
3
time.
out of 7, so I've got
So, yeah.
50%
You
chance.
nearly, it's more like a Vegas chance, like
Yeah.
the house is going to win, right? But if you land on the note in between, it's the next note up or down, most of the time. Every now and then you'll be fucked and go to like 2 chord tones in a row, and that's okay as long as you rhythmically cap it eventually. And so the next experiment here is when you land on a chord tone, play a passing tone and come back. See, that's the next level. Level 1 was just,
okay, yeah.
right? So there was a couple examples where I changed the chord and you land and you happen to be on a chord tone. Well then, at a certain point, play any other note in the scale and come back to your chord tone.
Okay.
And that already starts to make your playing more interesting and less thinking and just more intuitive to the music. Because you don't know what chord I'm going to play. I don't know what
Yeah.
note you're going to play, and that's okay. It's like a conversation, but at least you're not getting lost or like, fuck, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea here. So at least in this way, it's called small talk. You're not really saying anything prolifically important, but you are at least not sounding like an ass, I guess. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
3, 4, here's your chord. So I'm going to stay here for a little bit. Yeah, so that was chord pass. Yeah.
That's 2 passings.
Yep. So in that case, you probably should have went
C.
up, down, up. So you were on a chord tone, you went up, and I would have came back down. Yeah. But you could have went up. I think that worked. But it's better
Is that a
to.
chord tone too?
It's that,
Oh, yeah, it is that, right?
which is,
B.
and that's not in this chord, is it?
Oh, no. It's not. So some passing tones are not as passing as others.
So
Oh, I hear
here
you.
we go.
This was the thing you said like 4 months ago with each
Each note. It's on a
mode
spectrum.
has a certain note or 2. Right?
Yeah. So then there's special spicy notes that sound real good.
Those are the ones that are less passing than the others,
Correct.
but not chord tones.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's also chord extensions. So like when I play G, the F sharp sounds actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's chord extension.
Right. Because together we're playing a G major 7th together. So that's probably the least abrasive chord passing tone. But now together, if you really listen to that E, it almost sounds like we're playing an E minor 7th now. So it gets kind of blurry, but so what we want to do is we want to have a defined line between chord tones and not chord tones, but do realize that certain passing tones are like better than other passing tones.
So, the further the passing tone is from a chord tone, the worse the more passing it is.
Nah, that's not the
Right?
that doesn't work.
That doesn't work?
No. So here, let's do a spectrum real quick. You ready?
Yeah.
So here's a G chord. We're gonna rank the chord tones first.
Okay.
How good does that sound?
That's 1.
Yeah. So
Chord.
we'll have to have other things to compare to. So I'll compare that to the 5. How's that sound?
Less chord tone than
Yeah, but it is a chord tone,
less
though,
chord
right?
tone, yeah.
So that's your root. There's a 5th. Here's a 3rd.
So
Does that
it'd be
sound
like
better or worse than the 5th? Here's the 5th.
Not sure.
So about equal, right?
Yeah.
So you, the musician, decide. You can go, okay, 1, there's no doubt that the root note
Yeah.
of whatever you're playing over sounds the best. But then the jury's out on the 5th and the 3rd. Right? So, here's a cool little melody. So 1 always kind of sounds like, ta-da, we're done, right?
Yeah.
I think the 5th sounds a little more if we went da-da-da-da-da-da, or if we went da-da-da-da-da-da, or if we went da-da-da-da-da-da.
So the 1 is definitely finishing.
Right.
The
So
5
we
is
gotta
less
compare
than
to
the
3. So let's compare. Which one sounds more final, aka better? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Or da-da-da-da-da-da. To me, this one sounds more out of place. To me.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da. Like I
So
can end a
1, 5,
song
3.
there as like there,
Yeah.
but I can't really end
That's
the song.
not
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da. That I'm
Yeah.
still yearning for more after that.
Yeah.
I either want this or I want. So the root is going to be. So it's a spectrum. And again, I use numbers, but you can think in letters too, as long as you can convert, right? But whatever your chord is, if it's a G, it's it's this, right?
Yeah.
And so the answer is right in front of you. This is your 1st, this is your 3rd, this is your 5th. And we're saying the 1 is better than the 5, it's better than the 3. So then there's also these other notes in here. And I'll put that one down there. Right? Those are the anti-chord tones. So these sound a certain way too. So let's determine which one's going to be the second best. But remember, these are the chord tones. So when you're improvising, these are the ones.
I think I locked the car the whole time.
Yeah, nobody's going to fucking fuck them.
Yeah.
There's too many eyes. So now, I would say F sharp is going to sound the best
Yeah.
out of all of this. But let's see. Okay, so F sharp. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da. Weird, right?
Yeah, that exactly.
Right? But if you just listen to how it harmonizes, the
Yeah.
resonance, it's pretty good. Because it's just a stone throw away from being a chord extension, which is a
Yeah.
G major 7. So now I'm improvising. I ended there. Wasn't so bad, was it? I can really hang out on that note, and it's not that bad.
Okay.
Sometimes having conviction there, so I'm gonna say the 7 is the next, but we can change that. So let's compare it to. Just,
4?
you want to do 2? Let's do 2. Okay, here's 2. Ooh.
Not as
No.
much as the 7.
Does that sound better or worse than the 7? I like that. Here's 7. Here's 2.
Now I don't know.
They're about equal, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, hard to
I think
say.
2 is more.
I think 2 sounds better.
Yeah.
So, 7's dethroned. So we got 2 sounding better than 7. Interesting. Okay. Which one do you want to do next? 4 or 6?
6.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Less than 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, less than 7.
So that's gonna leave us 4. So 4 sounds the shittiest. I wonder.
More than 6.
Okay. That's 4.
Yeah.
I can hang out on 6 longer than I can hang out on 4, in my opinion. How about this?
Oh, yeah.
That almost stings a little bit. Compared to... It's like softer.
Yeah.
Well, it's just less dissonant. So, ironically, the perfect 4th is not so perfect. Doesn't sound good. It's actually probably the worst tone to play, outside of the chord tones. Now, it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
All of these are knockouts. So you'll land on this. You might land on a 2 and mistakenly think it's a chord tone. It's okay. Just play next door. Next door is either a 1 or a 3. So it's just what I'm trying to teach you is just an ability to naturally just, even if you're incorrect in labeling, don't think so hard on it. Just play the music and follow the changes. And sometimes you don't even need to follow the changes. Just react. No, you should respond to the music rather than reacting to it. Where reacting is just like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing." Responding is like, okay, I think what I'm playing sounds good. Keep it. Play around with it. Right? A little more of this. Move on. You got the concept. A little more.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Same key, or you want to try a different key now?
Different key.
Okay. What key would you like to use?
Any key is good.
A.
Yeah.
Or-
Actually, something other than G, A, and B flat.
F.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. Go for it.
Grinding those scales for too long.
I see. Passing tone right there.
I remember the key signature.
Has 1 flat. Nice. Oh, so you went up 2 passing tones in a row. There, now I finally have
Heard it after I
Oh.
played too. Just chord tone. It's not a chord tone.
But it sounds great.
Yeah,
There.
that's the chord tone. That's the chord tone.
I come right back to it. Compared to the next note that you played.
That one also exactly.
Passing. Good.
Oh yeah, I heard that one.
So I would go back to the previous note and then go lower. There, that's a better call.
So is this?
So right now we're in Phrygian and you landed on the most spiciest interval of all.
That one?
Yeah. So pause. Now we have to
7
talk about
Phrygian?
modes.
Yeah.
What you were playing in relation to my chord was this. That's not a 2. That's a flat 2.
Phrygian is 3.
Phrygian is mode 3. And what do we know about 3 and 4? They're adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
So you have that half-step dissonance. That's only signature in Phrygian. So you'll start to recognize this a little bit more. Now these are all, this is from a major standpoint, right? And
Yeah.
we're only talking about Ionian or major scale. But there's also other notes too, like if you happen to be playing Lydian, there's a sharp 4. And sharp 4, a second ago you were playing that over a major chord and you're like, this is a passing tone, but it sounds amazing. You were playing a sharp 4 in relation to the chord that we were playing. So you don't need to know this as you're playing, you just need to go, this sounds good or this sounds bad. That's all you gotta do. But if you look at the science behind it, a second ago you were playing a sharp 4, and then just now you were playing a flat 2. And the flat 2 is the worst sounding. You heard it instantly,
Yeah.
and so will your audience. And that's fine, you can play it with conviction. You can... That's usually what I do if I happen to land on that. I go boom, because I embody Phrygian. That's what door opens when I hear that sound. Like, ah, time to kill. And you'll get better at recognizing that too. So there's more than just this. There's the spaces in between, and if it's a minor chord, this is still true. It's just now that's a minor third. And that's a flat 7, and that's a flat 6. But you almost never get a flat 2. Flat 2 is way back there. But it is, regardless of which, it is still a passing tone. Doing good. Continue.
Yeah.
So still the key of F. Good move. 2 passing tones in a row.
3, 4.
There we go. Ah.
What is that?
So we got 2 and 1 right there.
So it's
There. Did you recognize your first note as not being a chord tone? Yeah.
this is that not the chord tone, but it's not that.
I would have went the other direction.
Yeah. Are you sure?
There you go.
Is that on the chord?
Oh no, that's our spicy flat 2. Oh, that's our flat. So the second I want to go is the third. That's
Oh, okay. This passing tone.
there. Good cap. Good cap.
That's definitely passing.
good. Good cap. Good cap. There's that sharp 4 sound we love over this chord. That's why I love Lydian. There's that flat 2. There. So we landed on the Phrygian note when I made that change.
Instead of
Right, but that'd be out of key.
would it? See natural?
Oh no, I'm sorry, that would have been fine. Yeah. Nice. So that note is intense. Used with
I
caution.
like this.
No, it's good. In this context, it's the best. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So you see how you recognize it and then you flirt with, you do hokey pokey. Like you know you're on a chord tone and then you go, oh, I can play whatever I want and come right back. That's a very conservative approach. But you sound good. Yeah. Yeah. So you could have went F to G or F to E, either one would have been acceptable.
That's the 5th. I mean, not the 5th, D. What's a D in that context?
It's a 2.
Oh, there we go.
So you're playing one of the best notes that's not a chord tone. And so you can kind of hang out there. So together we're creating an add 9 chord, and that sounds pretty good. That would be if I did this.
Oh, I hear it.
But it didn't sound bad, right? And so that was an instance where you were wrong. But doesn't matter, as long as you the musician, decide I like this or I don't. Rather than just going, fuck, I don't know what's happening. Now you're actually like being a little bit more calculated. Even if it's not perfect calculations, at least you're starting to go, you're starting to have an opinion on it. And that's the first step, I think, as far as getting better at improvising. Just reacting and responding to the chords. Now, this isn't going to address key changes or jazz.
Oh.
That comes later, okay?
Yeah.
But when we're locked into a key, and that's mostly for like 90% of the music, like consumed music, like pop music and stuff like that, it's going to work, okay? So pretty much most of the console catalog, this would work. Because we're all in a key pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah.
So yeah, improvising in that kind of setting.
Well, when they change key, they stay in the key for a while. It's not like key. It doesn't
Right.
go back and forth, yeah.
Right. So yeah, if there is key changes, it's almost like a Disney song where it changes and it stays there for a while, and then maybe they change it again. But yeah, and then that's what you have to do as a musician is go, oh, that's a key change. What new key are we in? And then it's just the same ball game all over again. Figure out the key signature, like how many sharps or flats, and then you're done. Then it's just playing around, right? Now, in a technical standpoint, you can sit there and go, oh, I'm playing over a progression.
Yeah.
Like, let's say we're playing over a very common 1, 5, 6, 4. If you know that ahead of time, now you can ride the waves. You can go, okay, well, whatever key. If we keep working with F, it would sound like this. You will know that each change of the way, this would be 1, 3, and 5 are going to sound good. 5, 7, and 2. 6, 1, and 3, and 4, 6, and 1. At those moments, those notes would sound good. That's a lot of calculation, right?
It's 1 most of the way through.
Yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, mostly 1. Oh, okay, so that's a good observation. So you can go,
So
okay,
you can almost always play 1.
1 is 3 times. What about 3? 3 is twice. What about 2? 2 is once. What about 4? 4 is once.
5 is twice.
5 is twice.
7 6 and 7 are once. No, 6 is twice. 7 is once.
6 is twice. Interesting. 6 is twice. Now, this is kind of interesting because look at the chord tones from the 1. Those are used prominently. So whenever we play in a pop setting, our ears always go, major! That's just major. So that's an interesting observation. But that's if you preemptively know it. So then you can go, okay, when this chord change happens, I can choose to land on a passing tone and then resolve it, or I can choose to land on a chord tone when that happens. Does that make sense? But again, the instinct here that I'm trying to get you to find is just naturally just having an opinion. So that was I landed on a passing tone during the chord change. Passing tone. Chord tone. Now it's a chord tone. So I can land on the chord tone. See, so either works. There's no right way about it. It's just knowing the dance between tension and release. That's really all that there is to it.
Yeah.
You know, how much tension is good before you pop the bubble and go, ah. So that's kind of the gist of it, and just getting your ear to, you know, don't obsess over it being F. I mean, even though I know that's how your instrument works, you're thinking of the letters, but don't think about it so technically. Like, don't. When I hear a 1 chord, I know it's 1s, 3s, and 5s. Or for example, I know it's an F, so it's got Fs, As, and Gs in it, right? So you can kind of cherry pick that a little bit. But what I'm trying to get whoever's playing to when I'm teaching this, it's just to develop that natural instinct, just to kind of go in, out, as you wander through the scale, and then that's improvising. That's very kindergarten improvising, but it is improvising, and that's better than not knowing what the hell to do. Good?
I think so.
Yeah. And so it doesn't matter these, and on the day-to-day this might switch. You might like the 3rd more than the 5th on a specific day.
Yeah.
You might like the flat 6 more than the 2 or something. Rare, but maybe. So keep that in mind. Improvisation. So, like, let's say we go to Burger Meetup and then we're soloing. You know, part of you will want to flex. That's like me too. I'll be like. But your technical ability is already there.
Yeah.
You don't need to work on that.
I just need the ear.
You work on the ear, and that's the best kind of scenarios to do that. And even though it's not like your best foot forward, so to speak, it's giving you a chance to build up that ear muscle and reacting to chords and just kind of hearing it all fit. And again, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, because even if you mislabel a chord tone, if it sounds good to you, it's going to sound good to somebody else too.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
So using the... So if you're in the key of A, or what key are we in? We're in the key of F.
We were in F, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
The 3rd... Let's do an easy one. The 2nd would be minor, which is G minor.
Uh-huh.
Has the key of B in G minor, right?
So if we're in the key of F, and then we move to G minor, the chord G minor, but we're still in the key signature of F.
But I mean, what's the key of G minor?
G minor would be, it's the same as B flat, so I think that's...
Two flats.
Two flats, right?
So if I was to play an E flat over the first chord, it would be bad. But over the second chord, it wouldn't sound as bad.
It wouldn't sound as bad.
So that's when the things go into there that don't fit in the box.
Right.
The least technical explanation.
Actually, that if we're in the key of G,
Yeah.
if we're in the key of F,
Yeah.
and then we move to G minor,
Yeah. And
that
that's
E flat is going to sound horrendous, actually. Because it's out of key. Try playing the E flat right now. Horrendous. Because it needs to be an E natural. Because we're in the key of F. Although the chord is G minor, and you're not in the key of G minor, you're in the key of F. You don't spontaneously move to the key of G minor.
Well, yeah, it would still be in the key of F, but how would you fit in? Wait, what is G minor?
G. If you're talking G minor scale, like the
G
key.
minor chord.
Oh, chord is.
G, B flat.
Yeah.
So the E flat is a half step off of
It should be that.
5. Yeah.
It should be that, not this. Because we're in the key of F. F only has one flat, and that flat is B flat. It's not E flat. There's no E flat. So that in the key of F was going to sound real bad. That would be be a chromatic note that's not in the key.
Oh,
And so outside of this is going to be chromatic notes.
Okay, I thought there might be like if you're in one of the others and you were to play a chromatic note that is in the key signature of the chord, it wouldn't sound as bad as a chromatic note that is not in the key signature of the chord.
Yes and no, but that's
So
beyond.
even that's not guarranted.
That's not guaranteed
crap.
either.
I thought it would be like, E flat
Yeah,
is better than F sharp or something.
I mean, there is a hierarchy of chromatic notes too, and it depends. So like, I can prime a listener too. So, gosh, this is kind of hard to explain, but this is priming. So, if a G minor was playing and we were in the key of F, you can think about it as, you're playing a G minor scale but with a E natural, and that's the sound of Dorian. Right? That's the established sound, but now I played it. I played the note that should not be named. Now I changed that.
You never ascend when you play that note.
You noticed that, didn't you? But I can.
Oh, crap,
So now it becomes a really good note to use, literally passing through.
So the chromatic tones are going to stay on it for sure.
No, those should be fast.
It's like salt, not too much. Well,
Salt in the wrong place, yeah. So I kind of milk the chromatic notes as long as I can. And you kind of can tolerate it as long as
there's something after.
note pretty quick at the end.
Okay.
So then you can play anything. right?
Yeah.
So then all of it's meaningless. Like studying all this is meaningless because you're telling me I can do.
So that's the tension thing you're talking about.
Right.
So
That's,
if you play only chromatics and then just finish your last note with it, it's too much. Maybe.
it'll work, but I don't know if you're gonna keep a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
But I'm proving to you it works, right? You're kind of like, what the hell is he playing? And then, oh, okay, I guess that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Now it starts sounding like Super Mario Dungeon or something. That's a chord tone. Now a key change. Another key change. It's all possible because I'm playing over one chord.
Yeah.
Now if I had multiple chords flying around, it's not as easy to do that. But that's what the jazz guys are doing. And they're doing something next level beyond this.
Oh, okay.
But this is the starting point, is to understand chord tones versus passing tones. This is the beginning stages of improvisation. Because once you can do that, now it's like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. I don't have to freak out, or I don't have to go, what do I do? You just play your scale and react to the chords that you're playing over. It's important to react to those chords. But in a pinch, just randomly play your scale. That works too. That's what I used to do for many years. I would just make sure I'm playing my scales correctly and call it a day, you know? I go, all right, it's in the key of G. So all I'm doing is just playing my notes. But I hope you can hear my nervousness in my playing. Not a single wrong note. But it almost doesn't sound like I'm playing music though. Like it almost sounds like I'm just playing scales. Almost.
Yeah.
But at least I was like, cool, I can solo over anything now, right?
That's the one that's okay, but it's missing something.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then slowing down is the secret. And now, most people would prefer hearing that rather than me just blitz the neck with scale boxes.
Yeah.
Guitarists are impressed by that, but most people who like music are like, so what?
Yeah.
See, that, I capped that. That was a good end. I capped it there.
Oh, so I need to hear what not the chord tones are.
That's equally important
Yeah.
too. You know, sitting on it and go, I recognize that this is not a chord tone, so I recognize that and I will change that, right? Chord tone, cool. Not a chord tone. Not a chord tone. Chord tone.
So what I'm missing is I can't hear the passing tones when I'm listening to the chord.
Right, if you're fixating on the chord, then you're only going to allow yourself to hear the chord tones. So you have to be able to recognize it being in and out. It's kind of like a gear, right? If you only focus on one gear, you miss the other gear.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to hear, or in this case, see both gears working together and oppositely. So that's what it is. Now, fast chord progressions are going to be tough. So having slow chord progressions are the best. Better yet, if you can program a song that just bounces between 2 chords and it takes like 15 seconds on each chord, that's going to give you a lot of time to sit there. And also you can kind of know in advance, like you can go, oh, I expect this note to not be the chord tone. Cool. Let me hear it and accept that that's not a chord tone. You know, and like relish that, oh, okay, that's a passing tone. It's passing tone, passing tone, passing tone. Passing tone. Yeah, okay, passing tone. Passing tone, okay. Still a passing tone, okay, it's still a passing tone, still a passing tone. Okay, finally not a passing tone, but it still sounds horrendous because of the past 2 chords. It's tarnished it. That's another funny phenomenon too, is that wrong placement.
Oh yeah, it sounded better after you took a break from it.
Right, right. So it's a funny quest, but it's just sitting there and going slow and really listening to all the moving parts. Listen to the chord, listen to you, listen to how they work together, and listen to how they don't work together.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if chords are flying by, it's really hard to catch that. So you have to like deliberately play over slow chord progressions to give yourself time to digest it. Anyway, that's all for today, Sean.
Oh, there's something interesting I picked up on violin.
What's
that
that?
might be similar for guitar. Like most people play, they like,
Yeah, open strings, right?
but whenever they do it, like the thing I've been looking at recently with my instructor is instead of lifting the fingers, like you do,
Yeah, keep them close.
but then going down, it's as soon as you play. then-
So you already place your fingers down on
and then,
the...
like you're moving your this at the same time, so
Oh, yeah, yeah.
second-
We call that rolling.
So you do that on guitar, okay?
But not with all your fingers. So we'll do it individual strings. So like when we sweep, like we'll roll our finger like that's rolling the ring.
Because we roll it sometimes.
But as far as scale work goes, we hover our fingers, but
Yeah, see, you do it. You pick up your fingers between each one. You don't like put this one down as soon, or like you don't put like 3 down at a time.
no.
Is that just not doable on guitar?
No, it is doable, but my mentality is that extra strength you use to put down.
Well, like you touch them there, but you only push the note you're playing.
Right.
So
right.
as soon as you're about to play the 3, you push the 3.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you push the 2, then lift that
Oh,
one.
I see. Yeah, I mean,
But it's like they're always touching.
yeah. The idea is
something
you're trying to
or
minimize the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. All higher level stringed instruments, I think, do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool. It's a good observation.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I look for when I work with people is if their fingers fly away. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
You're not too far.
Yeah, keep it close.
I make my students do that for speed practice. I'm like, all the fingers off, and then, every time you play like a trill, you have to move it all the way vertical,
Right.
so you can move it that much faster. So then when
Right.
you're doing this, it's like 10 times as fast.
Right.
But yeah.
Good to see you, John. I'll give you an auto text at the beginning of the month if you want to schedule another one of these.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll see you Tuesday. Finally.
Oh yeah.
Takes 3 attempts, I think. 3 attempts. Jeez.
Are you staying here like forever, or are you ever planning on moving?
I don't know, man. This like apartment or this island or what's that?
Apartment.
I like it here, but it depends on rent and depends on life situations. But we'll see.
Yeah, because eventually I'm still looking at buying a house more sooner than before. So I'm like, but Hawaii realty prices.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every month that goes by, I just feel like, fuck, I could be putting equity somewhere
Yeah.
rather than just giving it to my landlord. But that's what I get for being part of the renting.